I couldn't be prouder to open up this video about the life and service of Miguel Pulido, a man who broke barriers and made big things happen in the city of Santa Ana.
So I first met Mayor Pulido back in the 90s. I was so excited. I was early in my career at Chalk, and the new mayor was coming to the grand opening of our Clínica Chalk para Niños, and I still remember that. And now here we are all these years later.
Miguel, on behalf of the college, thank you so much for always supporting Santa Ana College and the district.
Mayor Pulido, I want to thank you for everything that you've done for our district, specifically your help in extending the ground lease for the Centennial Education Center. We went from an astonishing 2 years to 82 years.
You supported us with the bonds, you supported us with making sure that the Centennial Education Center happened for our community, and you supported us every time the college needed your help.
I'm here on behalf of the Chamber today to just thank Mayor Pulido for 26 years of partnership with the Santa Ana business community, 26 years of wonderful State of the City events, seeing him and his family up on the stage playing all those beautiful songs. Boy, are we gonna miss that.
You have made a difference for thousands of students by being supportive of what we strive for, which is a quality education and making sure that our facilities work great.
We will have an opportunity now to serve students and in the future. As you know, our goal is to build a brand new facility on that site. A brand new facility that will serve students for many years to come. Thank you so much, Mayor, for all your help.
There was never a question as to whether the mayor will be there for us. So thank you so much for doing that, and thank you for believing in education in our community. Gracias.
I just want to say how much we appreciate working with you all these years, and we just want to wish you all the best moving forward. Thank you so much.
When I think of Mayor Miguel Pulido and his leadership, there's a quote that a famous German philosopher stated, kind of paraphrase. It says, "Talent is hitting a target no one else can hit. Vision is hitting a target no one else can see." And Miguel has demonstrated his vision for seeing things possible in downtown Santa Ana long before anybody else, but also had the talent to make those things happen. I first met Miguel Pulido in 1999. The Orange County School of the Arts was a small after-school program in Los Alamitos. We were trying to build a new school and ran into some difficulties in Los Alamitos. And one day the phone rang and I picked up the phone and it was Miguel Pulido, and he said, "We would love to have the Orange County School of the Arts in downtown Santa Ana." So he invited me downtown. He showed me the possibilities. He believed in it long before even I did. He started working with our stakeholders, and within 6 months, the Orange County School of the Arts opened in downtown Santa Ana in September of 2000.
What makes Mater Dei so unique? First of all, it's the largest Catholic high school west of the Mississippi. Obviously, we're known as a great athletic powerhouse, but it's also well known for its academics and its service to the community, especially here in Santa Ana. When I became the rector president of Mater Dei High School in the early 1990s, there was a desire to move the school to another place. But both Mayor Miguel and our Bishop McFarland at the time, and Mr. Pat Murphy and myself in the administration of the school, we realized Mater Dei needed to stay where it was in Santa Ana. And Mayor Miguel helped create that transformation around the school and within the school.
Mayor Pulido, he was such an advocate from the beginning to help us in the founding of the Nicholas Academic Centers that he was one of the first people that philanthropist Judge Mando called and said, "Hey, I have, this individual, Dr. Nicholas, was interested in opening the centers in Santa Ana." Mayor Pulido was excited, he was elated, he was very for this project and saying, let's get these started, let's bring the chief of police, let's figure out, are there any blind spots that we're not looking at? How can we create spaces to make sure that our students go and have the best possibilities to improve their life, including go off to college?
It's recognized as one of the premier art schools in the country, and over the last 20 years it's developed into this thriving 2,200 student campus. It became accessible and within reach of students from all over Southern California. The fact that they're passionate about both academics and the arts, the fact that they are in an environment where they feel safe, they're in an environment where they can explore and develop fully as both scholars and artists, it truly is a legacy.
Mater Dei had no redevelopment done to that school by the church for almost 50 years. The only thing we actually ever did was we painted the school from one side to the other every year. But everything else was pretty much as it had been in 1950. We saw the need to redevelop Mater Dei and transform that piece of property, and so did Mayor Miguel, and we created that partnership that began that great redevelopment there on the corner of Bristol and Ettinger.
I've gotten more than a few phone calls saying like, hey, Rosa, are you thinking of a third center? And it's like, we are thinking of a third center, and this is before the third center opened, and so he's been quite a cheerleader.
Art school leaders from across the country look at the Orange County School of the Arts as a model of what's possible in terms of serving students that are passionate about the arts. And we've seen art schools open in Huntington Beach, in South County, mirroring and reflecting what was created through Miguel's vision back in 1999.
Many years ago, one of the challenges was Mater Dei was, quote, deemed by many other communities in Orange County as not the safest place to send our kids. Mayor Miguel, in transforming the city of Santa Ana, and all of his great team that did that great work, help us to create a different platform. First, that Mater Dei is not only a great educational institution, it's a great Catholic place, but it's also a safe place to be. And that's helped secure our enrollment, that's helped bring in the kind of students that we're really looking for that will go on and help change not just our community, but our nation as well. Those are the kind of students we're looking for. And again, a third of them come from this local community of Santa Ana. And that's a great gift to the church. It's a great gift to our country.
I first met Miguel when he first ran for mayor about 22 years ago, I guess. I had already been at the Bowers about 8 years and was impressed with the support that we got for the arts here in Santa Ana, largely through the influence and support of Miguel and the City Council.
Mayor Pulido, thank you for supporting Discovery Cube for over 2 decades. There hasn't been a day that Discovery Cube's been open in Santa Ana that you haven't been our mayor and been championing us. Partnering with you and the city of Santa Ana, Discovery Cube has hosted over 1 million families and students, helping them discover science through hands-on learning fun. Thank you, and all the best from your friends at Discovery Cube.
Miguel is such a great guy to be around. He's a pretty funny guy. A lot of these things that we do together, we would meet different people at different times, and we would talk to these people, and I would introduce Miguel as my twin brother. And if he had a beard, he would look just like I do.
The result of this support is our worldwide reach. We like to partner with the great museums and great collections of the world, and this is, I think, where Miguel got very, very excited. I think it's this international view that Miguel has that really drove our attention on the international scene, because he helped with the Basilica de Guadalupe in Mexico City with Don Kennedy. He encouraged us to do a joint venture, the first in the world, with the British Museum in London, and we're still talking about the Louvre. As a result, we've done over 60 major exhibits from all over the world, the great collections, and that's pretty unique for a museum of our size.
Probably the top 5 projects that I have worked closely with Miguel on in the city over the last 3 decades has been Orange County High School of the Arts. A lot of these historic buildings, the Masonic Temple, complete historic restoration, original mics, the Twist Basler House. We've done a lot of government projects together. Some of them was the Housing and Urban Development. Housing and Urban Development was we put in 1600 Broadway when nobody wanted to go there. They wanted to tear the building down. Miguel went to Washington, D.C. himself and got HUD to come out here. We built it out. And another one was 900 Broadway, which is the International Business Center. So there was really some great projects that he and I were involved in. And I think it benefited the city so much and has made the city even more so what it is today.
Director Pulido, a name that has been associated with OCTA since 1997, our longest serving board member at OCTA. He's been there for every single challenge, whether it was the purchase of the 91 express lanes in 2003, it was a groundbreaking decision at that time. Things like the Interstate 405 project, Measure M2, OC streetcar. The other thing that is so important about Director Pulido's leadership at OCTA was his support for clean air, clean energy. He was here when we went from diesel buses to LNG buses, then to CNG buses, and now we're on our way to hydrogen fuel cell electric buses, battery electric buses. He's been a leader the entire time in that discussion, and without him, we wouldn't be where we're at today on those issues.
One of the things that I had the opportunity to work with Miguel on and really kind of cheer him on and advocate with him has been the streetcar project here in Santa Ana.
The Santa Ana streetcar is a project that will connect the east end and the west end of Santa Ana. The mayor asked me to help with the funding and the planning of the streetcar.
The mayor went into the OCTA board, convinced this board to invest millions of dollars into Santa Ana and into this project, this transit project right in the heart of the capital of Orange County that no other city wanted.
It is the first segment of a regional transportation system that ultimately can connect Santa Ana, Orange County, all the way to Union Station in downtown Los Angeles. In that, you will take riders off the Santa Ana freeway, ease congestion and air pollution, and provide mobility in the entire region, Orange County, in LA, where a lot of people are commuting.
And I give him lots of credit for that project being under construction today, and I wish that the project would be running before he left office, but I'm happy to say that that thing will be running fairly soon.
Leadership. Miguel Pulido, you are a living example of that. Who do you know that works 32 years doing the same thing for the same city? No one, except you as the mayor of our city. I had the pleasure of watching your career over the many past decades, and most recently over the last 3 years, when I watched you miraculously build the Link homeless shelter with 250 beds in 28 days. The standard that you set by doing that project changed the entire focus of Orange County and showed what could be done on the local level in serving the homeless people. You did that, Miguel, nobody else. Today, there's over 1,000 beds in Orange County, all patterned after the Link shelter that you were the proponent of. Thank you for showing how to be bold to other elected officials in your peer group, and you've continued to do that through COVID and numerous other examples. One final perspective from my point of view. I have never met anyone in the last 55 years of my municipal career with as much energy and commitment as you, Miguel Pulido. And on behalf of everyone that you work with, that works for you, and every citizen and business in Santa Ana, I say, muchas gracias, Miguel Pulido.
Mayor Pulido and the entire city have always been incredibly supportive of our work at Mercy House. And, Miguel in particular, whether it was when we first started on Main Street with our Joseph House project, but probably even more importantly, when we started the Emmanuel House project, that changed the course of our agency. And I think, honestly, changed the course of how homeless services were delivered through the entire county, all the way up through our permanent housing projects. The San Miguel residence, across the street from Emmanuel House, which not very many people know, is one of the very first permanent housing projects to address homelessness, not only in Santa Ana, but in the county. Emmanuel House turned from transitional to permanent housing. We developed the Orchard over on First Street. Legacy Square is coming online. Francis Xavier is also coming online in the next couple of years. The Aqua Motel is being converted into permanent supportive housing. So the mayor, his fingerprints and the council's fingerprints are all over the actual evolution of homeless services throughout the entire county, going from some sort of transitional shelter to actually more navigation centers to permanent housing and everything in between. Just really can't thank you enough for all that you've done.
Those in favor, please say aye. 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 Those opposed, motion carries. We're now going to go to item 25D. Council.
Serving on the council with Miguel has been very educational for me, just in the way I carry myself. You know, there are times in long council meetings where I, for whatever the reason is, I'm at the point of wanting to pull my hair out, and I look over and I see the mayor just as calm as can be, so just cool. And I'm looking over, it's like, how is he so calm? I'm infuriated, and I'm trying so hard not to let my emotions show, and he's just cool, collected, calm. So watching him, just how great he is at what he's done, I mean, it's definitely been educational for me. One of my favorite things that we definitely accomplished together over the last 2 years is bringing a solid city manager to our city in Christine Ridge. I mean, if it wasn't for Miguel Pulido, we wouldn't have Christine Ridge leading our city. And from the top down, everywhere I go, I hear about the leadership that Christine Ridge has brought to our city, and that is thanks to Miguel Pulido. I mean, he was a big, push in bringing her here, and she has accomplished so much in the last couple of years thanks to him.
Your legacy will live on here in Santa Ana with all the different projects. It has been an honor and a pleasure to serve alongside of you as your Mayor Pro Tem and to serve the council also. And I learned a lot, and I won't forget it.
When we used to have Fiestas Patrias, which is celebrating Mexican Independence Day, and we'd get up on stage in the downtown, and there'd be close to maybe 100,000 people deep. And so one time, Miguel and his father broke out the guitars and started singing, and the rest of the council were just standing there behind them. So we weren't sure whether to join them, whether they wanted us to be chorus or just, backup singers and maybe do a dance behind them. But, we realized that was something unique to Miguel, and he loves including his family. So when we saw Miguelito join him with a guitar and David with the drums, those are things I think that I'll remember about him most, is that he incorporated his family.
Hi, I'm Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti, and I'm thrilled to be with you to celebrate my friend and your mayor, Mayor Miguel Pulido. For 26 years, Mayor Pulido has been the very model of a public servant, leading his beloved city of Santa Ana with skill, vision, and heart. From expanding economic opportunity across the city to making the streets of Santa Ana more peaceful and safe, Miguel, your legendary tenure is testament to what can be achieved when elected officials give life to their values and give back to their constituents. On a personal note, I'm blessed to call Miguel a friend and a colleague. He's been a mentor and an example. We've marched side by side in the battle to end homelessness, trekking up to Sacramento to get more dollars, to help Californians get out of poverty, and this year to fight hard to deliver COVID-19 relief to our people in this region. All the while, I've known that whenever I need him, his sage counsel and deep wisdom is only a phone call away. Santa Ana is where my grandfather, Salvador, and my grandmother, Juanita, first got married. It's a special city that's had a special leader. And I want to thank him. He's the Dean of California Mayors. And on behalf of my City of Angels, and all your brother and sister mayors here in California and across the country, mil gracias por su servicio. Thank you for the extraordinary service you've given us. And I wish you the very best in great chapters still to come. Enjoy your retirement, and felicidades.
Mayor Pulido, you have been a great friend, and you're a champion of our city, of our cities in California. And I want to thank you, particularly for your advocacy on behalf of the homeless, being in there, helping us just in the last year be able to secure almost $1 billion in funding for relief and housing for our homeless in all of our cities. I appreciate your commitment to that issue and for all that you do. So I look forward, and I hope that we'll continue to work together well after your so-called retirement from this gig. And I look forward to talking to you again soon. Take care, Miguel.
In Congress, we don't do resolutions, but what we do is we like to read the story of an individual into the congressional record. And the congressional record is part of American history forever. This is our way of saying, Miguel, muchas gracias. Your history, we will put your history in the congressional record for generations to come for people to look back when they study your career and they study and research what you've done. They'll find a page in the U.S. Congressional Records that talks about Miguel Pulido, the mayor of the city of Santa Ana. On behalf of the residents, the taxpayers of the city of Santa Ana, I'd like to present Mayor Miguel Pulido with this congressional record. It's our way of saying, muchas gracias, Miguel. Thank you for all you've done.
What cracks me up about Miguel is that he's had this orange tie for about 30 years, and he's never changed. And I'm not sure he changes his shirt either. And he has this voice that you think he's about 6'4", but he's not. But let me tell you something, when he speaks, he knows what he's talking about. Very persuasive and absolutely get things done.
I first ran for city council in 1986, and I did so because we are involved in a big battle with the city over Ace Muffler, our family muffler shop. And we ultimately worked out a deal where they built a shopping center around us, but Ace Muffler remained there at 401 East 1st Street, right where it had always been. And then in 1994, the then Mayor Dan Young said, "You've got to be the next mayor. I'm leaving and you're the next mayor." And so I ran for mayor, and then that began a whole new chapter as mayor since 1994. When I was running for city council, and crime in the city was so bad in those days, we had rain of bullets. Houses on a regular basis, cars, people would get hit by bullets that were coming back down because people would shoot up in the air. There were neighborhoods where people couldn't get into their apartments because when they got into their apartments, there were gangs outside of the apartments asking for a fee in order to let people cross and enter the apartment complex. People would be asked for their cars. "Let me borrow your car. If you don't let me borrow your car, I'm going to slash your tires. What would you like?" Working with Paul Walters and the police department and the community, we began to put cameras on telephone poles so we could monitor and see what's going on. They would come out with machine guns and they'd shoot the cameras off of the telephone poles. And it was just a different city. It was a different situation. We looked at all the cities between a quarter of a million in population and 500,000 population. And at the time, there were about 35 cities that qualified for that population ratio. We were the most dangerous city in that category in the country. And over the years, we began to work on things. And part of what we learned was that you have to intervene when kids are young. So I remember going to the school board and saying you have to have a DARE program. You have to have a Project Pride. Project Pride was a project for after-school programs where kids would be deterred from getting into gangs in the first place. And eventually you'll be able to see the benefit and the results of intervention, of supporting kids after school, of having after-school programs, and of course of inviting philanthropy into the city. And over the years, I've done a lot of that. I've had groups like the Nicholas Academic Center, and I'm so thankful, to Judge Mandel and Henry Nicholas because of what they've done through the NAC. Now there's literally thousands and thousands of Santa Ana students that have had their lives improved through education, through these type of programs where they not only get scholarships to college, but even in high school, there's study centers and there's people that are supporting them to become better, more productive individuals. Also, I was able to bring the Ron Simon Foundation. And Ron Simon and his group, they look at kids that are at risk, and they also do scholarships, and they also track them and improve their lives and make a big difference. The Samueli Foundation, for example, which is absolutely wonderful. It is full. It has a waiting list, and it's helping improve education here in the city. Year after year after year, crime began to reduce. At one point in time, we had almost 100 homicides in the city in a single year. We got it to the point where it went into the low teens or single digits. And when you look at those 35 cities where we are the worst city in the country, over the years we started coming down. We were in the 20s, then we're in the teens, then we're in the single digits. And then there's years and moments in time where we've been the safest city within that category in the country. So we passed up about 34 cities across America. And I credit the community, the police department, everybody, the churches, the schools, everybody that worked on this effort to bring our city to the level that it deserves to be, and to find all sorts of better lives for people because they don't have crime to constantly be worrying about. Arts and culture is a conversation that can't take place without me mentioning a few names, in particular Don Cribb, Lisa Bist, Tom Lutz, and Milton Gordon. Milt Gordon was president of Cal State Fullerton at the time, and we had a vision of what can we do in the downtown to reposition it. And we wanted so much to have restaurants, to have an artist component, to have real vibrancy. Well, we decided that we were going to attempt an artist village. Well, that began a whole renaissance because then we had, architects moving in, attorneys moving in, ad agencies moving in. Orange County was all coming to Santa Ana. There was people from Newport Beach, from Laguna, from everywhere you can imagine saying, we're going to downtown Santa Ana because it's become a real exciting place where there's amazing food, there's a variety. And so we combined the artist village with this whole food component, with a professional element, and now it's in the middle of yet more development, more growth, a brighter future in this tapestry that we've woven and put together. Future of downtown, I believe, looks very bright. And it's not just a 3rd and Broadway and the First American Toll Brothers project on Ford Street, but also I believe the streetcar is going to light all that up, connecting us to the transportation center and over towards Harbor in Garden Grove. But also I believe and I hope and I trust that One Broadway Plaza will be built. And if we get a company like Amazon or some other entity to move in, I think it's going to really invigorate the city. That, of course, along with what's going on with the YMCA building, which is being renovated, all the reactivation of Ford Street and what's going on there, I think these projects are going to make downtown a stronger destination, and that's for what we need for it to be. And I believe downtown Santa Ana is the only true downtown in Orange County. I remember when Dave Ream, we used to sit up here on the 8th floor and look out there, and he'd say, look at Ben Warner's tow yard. Nothing against Ben Warner or the tow yard, but that's what was there before the federal courthouse. The federal court is an integral part of a civic center and of keeping us as the civic center downtown, if you will, of Orange County. So a campaign began that lasted for years. I probably made about 15 red-eye flights into Washington, D.C. to fight for the federal court being built and held here in Santa Ana. And one of the key moments was Congressman Rowe, congressman from New Jersey, who used to be a mayor in New Jersey, looking at me and saying, Mayor, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to protect your town. Don't worry, I'm not going to let it go to another city. You are the county seat, but then, of course, having the legislation and having it built are two different things. So that's when I began working with Senator Dianne Feinstein. She was key in funding it. And then I started working with Judge Manny Real, who was the presiding federal judge, But then I remember my good friend Roger Johnson, formerly CEO of Western Digital, who was working with President Clinton and Vice President Gore on this reinventing government. He was part of that committee, and he was the director of General Services Agency. He said, Miguel, we're going to do this. The first building that we're going to build in this country is going to be your courthouse in Santa Ana. Today, when you go inside, there's a small plaque, and it has the name of the city council that was on serving with me at the time, and I'm very proud of that courthouse being here. It's been a pleasure serving on OCTA. Today I had my last meeting. They reminded me that it had been 23 years that I served on that board. And frankly, I believe it took every one of those years, because attempting to start something as foreign to a county as a different mode of transportation is extremely difficult. And it took many iterations. We had Measure M1, then we had Measure M2, and whenever we did these tax measures, we always would put in there, if we have transit, public transit, mass transit, are you more likely to vote for it? And every time it polled better. It polled better. So I was able to convince the board over the years, after these tax measures passed, that we owed the promise that we had made to the taxpayers, to those voters that voted for that tax measure. So a motto of promises made, promises kept became very strong. But I believe that the streetcar for Santa Ana and for Central Orange County is going to be absolutely essential. I think it's going to result in a multi-billion-dollar boom to our communities, to our economy, and to a solid future. South Coast Plaza, to me, is a very special place because of Henry Segerstrom. And may he rest in peace, but he was a true Orange County visionary. I also realized that we had some very valuable land right there around MacArthur and MacArthur. MacArthur and Main, MacArthur and MacArthur Place. Today we have major buildings there, including two of my favorites, which are the towers. They're the towers that were built basically because I challenged Kurt Olson, and he took on that challenge. And today it's a very successful project. And that's where it all began in terms of the towers and in terms of much of that development, because it's such a strong area now that when you're coming on the freeway off the Newport or the San Diego, and you get off right there at MacArthur and you look around, it's just absolutely amazing. Also, another significant project in that area is the Armstrong Ranch. There was a time when that was just fields, and I remember the school district needed a high school, so I went to Henry Segerstrom and I said, Henry, we need to build a high school here. Can we start doing something with the ranch? The ranch was about 90 acres or so. It's quite a property. And so he said, yeah, we'll work with you. And so they ended up allotting some of that land for what is today Segerstrom High. It's part of the reason it got that name, which I think is very appropriate. Then there are also, the homes that came in, the Shea homes, and those are beautiful homes that were built. I think it really solidifies the region. There's a portion of South Coast Plaza called South Coast Village. I think that could be developed in a more intense fashion. I think it could be joined to the rest of the mall, the way they joined, what used to be the Crystal Court with a bridge. That was Ruth Segerstrom's vision. And now look what it's done to all of South Coast Plaza. I think we can bring some of that, and we should in the future, into Santa Ana. At some point, there'll be a streetcar in that southern portion of the city that connects over to the airport, which, by the way, I'm very proud that when you're flying in, often it'll say Santa Ana, because we are the county seat, and that is operated by the county, and I think that's appropriate. I have great hopes for Santa Ana moving forward because of all the work that we've been doing, of how well it is positioned, and I have faith in the future leadership that they will continue to forward strong agendas that are going to benefit the city. I believe that Orange County is a special place. I really found that out recently through the Orange County Mayors Group that I've formed, working together with cities across Orange County. And as I see all those beautiful cities, it reminds me more and more of all the special things that we have right here in Santa Ana. And it's the location, it's the weather, but it's also the people. It's also the 30,000 businesses that have chosen to make this their home. It's the education that we have. I look at the Orange County High School of the Arts. It is a wonderful, remarkable school. You know, the Segerstrom Highs of the world that I mentioned earlier, those are wonderful institutions. But also the Modern Days can't be forgotten. What they bring to this community and how they benefit this city, education is a major role. And of course, Santa Ana College is constantly seeking to improve and to make a difference here in our community. So as we continue to go forward, you know, education and all these nonprofits, we have more nonprofits in Santa Ana and more philanthropy in Santa Ana that I think we need to continue to work on so that they continue to benefit and beautify and enhance the city. We have amazing neighborhoods in the city. People that care about their homes, people that are trying to improve them, people that are trying to, you know, protect them, people that love our city. We're going to continue to see great things happen here in Santa Ana. And I just want to thank all of you who have supported me over the years. When my career began in '86, I was there with my dad going door to door, trying to raise money to run for city council. And my wife Laura, who I met in '88, and I need to thank her because she's put up with so much for so long. It's so difficult, I think, being married to somebody in public office. You know, my siblings that have always been there supporting me, my sister Marisol, my brother Jose, my brother Luis, and then of course my own children, you know, Miguelito, my younger son David Andrew, and then my daughter Isabel. All of them have lived a life seeing the world through my eyes and understanding what campaigns are about, understanding just all the difficulties and the constant stress that you have to deal with when you're in the job of leading such a large and fine city as Santa Ana. So I want to thank all of them because they've been just with me, helping me, you know, remain motivated, remain focused, remain energetic, because they've been so much behind me.
Mayor Miguel, thank you for your many years of dedication, not just to Modern Day, but to this community. And I personally, as president, and in the name of Pat Murphy and our Bishop Kevin Van, I thank you for all you've done for Modern Day High School.
Miguel, I just want to thank you. Your vision provided a unique experience for so many lives, and it had not been for your vision and your ability to see what was possible here in downtown Santa Ana, there are so many kids, there's so many children that would not have this experience, and that will be a legacy that will live on forever. Thank you.
Thank you so much for all your support for the Nicholas Academic Centers. Thank you for taking an interest in our kids. I wish you the best in the next leg of your journey.
Miguel, congratulations. I look forward to working with you for many years to come.
Well, Mr. Mayor, I just want to tell you something. I think that history will judge you as one of the greatest mayors in the history of Orange County, and the city will never be the same, and we're going to miss you.
I feel as though Miguel, from 1995 till today in 2020, has never changed at all. He's just an incredibly driving man.
So Miguel, my message to you is, thank you for your service to Santa Ana. And make sure you keep in touch with us. Let us know how you are doing. We'll certainly do the same, and we certainly wish you well in your new chapter in your life.
Mayor, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for your friendship. I want to thank you for your support. I want to thank you for your leadership over these past 30 years. And then I wish you and your family the absolute best. Thank you.
Miguel Pulido, Well, that man is a legacy. Just look at his past, at everything that he's accomplished for this city. It speaks for itself.
Well, Mayor Pulido, I just want to say thank you for all the time that you've served here in Santa Ana and all the wonderful projects that you've brought to town. It'll be tough to try to build on that legacy, but God willing, we'll be able to do it, and we'll be in the position to grow and make the Golden City shine thanks to you.
Miguel, thank you so much for everything you've done for our city of Santa Ana. I'm definitely going to miss serving alongside you on the Diaz. You definitely bring a charm and a calm attitude about you that is gonna be very, very missed, and good luck in whatever future projects you take on.
Mayor Pulido, Director Pulido, thank you for your service, not only to the city of Santa Ana, but to the Orange County Transportation Authority. You have touched every corner of transportation in Orange County since 1997. So thank you for your service. Look forward to talking to you soon.
Discovery Cube has gone on and become a successful and wonderful institution for all of Southern California. Thank you for your part in it.
Welcome to the Cube family. You are definitely a part of it. Good luck to you.
Congratulations and thank you for your years of dedicated public service, not only to the city of Santa Ana, but to the county, the region, and the state of California.
Mayor Pulido, thank you so much for being one of the Cube's great advocates of the city. Whenever we needed your help, you were there. Like the time that we dreamed up a 106-foot tall cube on the 5 freeway. You were there! Or when we needed a dinosaur on the corner of Main Street. We got one! Or when we had the vision to put a rocket on our parking lot. We did it! From your friends at the Cube, we truly appreciate your support over the years, and we wish you the best in your future.
Mi querido hermanito, te quiero mandar un mensaje personal diciendo que es un orgullo participar en este video, un homenaje a tu servicio, a tu vida como alcalde de la ciudad de Santa Ana. I know that you have many more chapters to write, and I look forward to seeing all of them.
It's a song that David and I wrote together, and it's called I'm Done With This.
You know I'm done with this. You know I'm done with living this way. You know it's obvious. All of our choices turn life into chains. What will you do? What will you say? Can you free your mind when you're trapped by your ways? I wanna love all the things I do, the way that the sea licks the sand, but it's hard to be free when the things you dream live beyond your command. You know I'm done with this. You know I'm done with living this 'cause you think it's a long way down. Breathe life, see life, let life be life.
Did you guys like that? Yeah, thumbs up. My dad came to me, he's like, I want you to do the song about being done with this. I'm like, wouldn't that be kind of ironic? Because like you're still mayor, you know. But I think one can feel a sense of completion without being complete, right? One can feel accomplished while also turning away.